right, in this lesson, we're going to start learning about proofs. So today's lesson is an introduction. We're going to go over what they look like, what all the different parts are, what their names are, where different things go, stuff like that. This is something we're going to be working on all year. Proofs are a big part of geometry, so we're going to start working on it. So at the beginning, you'll only have to do a little bit of stuff in the proof. By the end, you'll be filling in the whole thing, right? So first, what is a proof? Right, so a proof is used to prove something is true. You know, like when you go to court and you watch one of those true crime documentaries, they have all this proof and they say, well, he's innocent because of these reasons, and here's a video of him at this gas station, and those are proof for why he's innocent, right? Or you can have proof why they're guilty, right? But you're like making a case, and you're saying, okay, I know these things are equal because, and then you list off all the things that would show someone that these things are equal to each other, right? So that's what we're doing here. We're proving it's true. Okay, so proving true. Switch my marker. Okay, so this is a general outline of what a proof would look like over here. There's different pieces, and we're going to talk about what different pieces are and what you put in those spots. Right? So the first thing here is this piece. So over here, you'll usually have a diagram of some sort. Right now, we're doing the unit on parallel lines, so your diagram will have little parallel lines. When we do the triangle unit, you'll have a triangle in that spot. Right? So in this part is the diagram. The diagram's useful for a few reasons. It gives you a visual to look at, so you can have pictured in your head, right? They'll usually be labeled, like they might give the angles names, and you say, okay, so then when you refer to angles, you know which ones they're talking about, right? So visual representation for you. The next piece is this piece that says given. In the given section, they're going to give you a piece of information that you're going to need, right? So it's kind of like when we were solving the angle pairs before, and I would tell you, okay, this one's 60 degrees. How big the other one? Your given would be that 60 degrees, right? It's information that I gave you, right? It's a freebie. All right. This is part. The next part is the proof. The proof is your goal, right? Or the answer, right? So you know what the answer is or what you're trying to prove. The process is going to be, how do you get to that answer, right? The answer's 4, but why is it 4? How did you get to 4? Did you add numbers? Did you subtract something? Why is it 4? So that's what the proof's goal is, right? The proof. What are you trying to get? Right. Next section would be the statements. Right? The statements are the how. How do you get to the proof? What steps did you do? Right? What was your process? Right? Did you add 4? Did you minus 4? What did you do to get to the answer? Right? So that's the how or the steps. Right? Your first statement will always be the given. Right? Whatever they tell you in the given, that's where you start. Right? They tell you angle 4 is 60. Your first statement is angle 4 is 60. Right? So you always start with what they gave you. The last section here is the reason section. Right? The reasons are the whys. Why did you add 4? Why is angle 3 40 degrees? Right? You're listing why you did what you did. Right? So things you can use. You can use definitions or vocab terms that we've gone over. You can use theorems or formulas. You can use postulates. We haven't done any of those yet. We will be. Postulates will be allowed to go in there. Right? Just like the statements, number one is always given. Right? You always start with the given. And you always end with the proof. Right? Because that's your goal, right? So your goal is to end up at the proof. Okay, so those are different pieces. So part of your assignment today is going to be questions about this. Like, where do you put the whys reasons? Right? Where is the information that you start with and then the given? Right? So there'll be questions about these kind of things. Next, we're going to go over, there's some symbols that you're going to start seeing, both with the proofs and just in class generally. Some of them we've seen before. The symbol, first one is for congruent things, right? The equal sign with the squiggle. Next one, you have two lines. That's for parallel. The next one is for perpendicular lines, right? Which is just a tiny little picture of what perpendicular looks like. The next one, if you've got the symbol for congruent but with a line through it, that means that they are not congruent, right? Same thing, the next one's equal sign with a line through it. If there's a line through it, then it's not equal. Next, we have the angle symbol. The next one looks like an angle symbol with an extra piece. This just means congruent angles. So you only see that like if you already know that angle 2 and angle 3 are congruent, a lot of times you'll see this. Right? The angle symbol is usually like if angle 4 equals 60 degrees. Or if we don't know if they're congruent yet or not. Just an alternative to the regular angle symbol. Okay, so that's all those symbols. Make sure you have those written down and you remember those. Last thing I have here is I just wanted to go through, this is a completed proof. So this is what it would look like after you finish it. All right, so as you can see, you've got your given here. So this given is that L is parallel to M. Right, so that's information that you're told. And if you look at the reasons, L is parallel to M and given are in the first row. So that's always true. Given is always, always, always first. All right. And then also, if you see the proof is, we're trying to prove that angle 2 is congruent to angle 7. If you look, the very last thing is that 2 is congruent to 7. Right? Remember, the prove is the goal. So you're trying to get that to be the last thing there. In the middle, there's a few things in the middle here. This is just how you get to that. So we'll go over how you figure out the middle parts tomorrow. Today is mostly about the vocab involved with proofs. Right? So if you have any questions, you can message me on Remind or leave a comment